Council, you all ready? I would like to call this meeting to order. And before we get started, I would like to recognize the youngest and the oldest birthday on council. Councilman McCall celebrated his birthday over the weekend, and Councilman Jabali is celebrating his birthday on today. So happy birthday. I ate some of his cake, but I need some cake. Okay, I'll get some cake tonight.
That's right.
All right, so if you don't mind, let us all stand for our invocation. Invocation. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we lift up the city of Florence before you, a place of rich history, beauty, and culture. Thank you for its people, its heritage, and the unique role it plays in this world. Lord, we ask for your blessings and protection over every neighborhood, every family, and every leader in Florence. Guide the hearts of those in authority. May they lead with wisdom, justice, and compassion. Bring peace to the streets, safety to its homes, and hope in every heart. Where there is division, bring unity. Where there is need, bring provision. Where there is sorrow, bring comfort and healing. Bless the city's economy, its schools, its arts, and future. Let revival begin in the hearts of the people of Florence for a better Florence. And it is in your name we pray. Let every heart say amen. Amen. Now our pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, I acknowledge these great men, but I've got to acknowledge these beautiful chairs that we are sitting in. Council really appreciate that, Councilman McCall. So we thank you for that. Next on our agenda, Council, we will have approval of minutes. What say you?
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are doing, that was May, and approval for May 12th. What say you?
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Now we will have honors and recognition. We will have a service recognition. Council, if there's no objections, can I move the resolutions up right after the special recognitions, and then we would move on, if that's okay?
It is. Thank you.
Okay. So, service recognition, Marshall McIver, 40 years in the police department. Is there? No, that's resolution.
We are here recognizing Marcel McKeever for 40 years of service to the code enforcement unit.
They wanted to celebrate you too.
Marcel McKeever has been a dedicated member of the City of Florence Code Enforcement Unit for 40 years. She's been a leading force for improving operations, doing the hard work, and caring deeply about this community. If you've lived here long enough, there's a good chance that you've seen Marcel in action, whether helping a neighbor understand the city ordinance, working through complex issues, or simply being a voice of reason and compassion when people need it most. Marshall has always been someone you can count on, not just to do the job, but to do it with great pride and compassion. Marshall has never considered codes enforcement to be solely about rules and regulations. For her, it's been about the people she serves and about keeping our neighborhoods safe, clean, and respected. Her overall goal has been about making the city a better place, not just for the people who live here, but also for those who come before us, those who will make Florence their home in the future. Throughout her career with Codes Enforcement Unit, Marshall has played a major role in solving problems both large and small. She has listened, she has guided, and she has stood firm when she needed to stand firm. Through it all, she's done it with the kind of grace, strength, and the type of dedication that's hard to come by, but is greatly appreciated. And today, we thank Marshall for 40 years of service.
Then next we have special recognitions, the Bullard personal protective equipment to recognize the Florence Fire Department for the recent life-saving event.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Madam Mayor. With me today is Jeff Queen. He is a regional representative for D.D. Bullard Company, the manufacturer of this limiter. And I'm Wally Ellis with Wally's Fire. I'm from Mullins. Jeff is from North Carolina, and Bullard is headquartered in Cynthiana, Kentucky, a little bit back of town up in Kentucky. And of course, I'm from Mullins, a little back of town east of here.
Excuse me just a minute. Just for those on YouTube, can you stand in front of the mic to make sure they pick up all of this?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Good. I would like to say that I feel like I'm in front of my peers today. I've been a firefighter, been a fire chief. I've been on city council in my little hometown of Mullins. And no, they didn't run me off. I actually moved out into the country. And so I was not allowed to serve on city council anymore. But with that, there will be a lot of honors and praises today. And having served in all these positions, I would like to say to the council members, to the mayor, the administrator, that your job is very much a part of what's going on today. You're a very important part of this process. So we thank you for your part behind the scene, the unseen actions that take place in budget meetings and all that fun stuff that goes on on your behalf. But we are here to recognize a situation today where there was a life saved, as a little 4-year-old young man. And we'd like to recognize those that took part in that activity that day. So at this time, unless Jeff has something to say right now, we'll call.
For those that don't know, it was January 30th.
In front of the mic.
January 30th, the Florence Fire Department was dispatched to a house fire, 2-story house, reports of a child inside. They arrived to find heavy smoke. Captain Schuler used one of our thermal imagers under heavy smoke conditions to find the stairs, find the bedroom door, find the child, and bring the child out. And the child is alive and well today because of his efforts, because of the equipment that you folks chose to provide them with. And that's why we're here, is to honor him with that, and he will be inducted into the Bullard Save a Life Club.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
With that, we'd like to ask Chief Tanner and the entire staff that was involved in this call that they'd come forward.
Woo! Okay, some on this side so we can balance it out.
present this to the fire department as a whole, that the tool that we sell is absolutely worthless. Unless you put it in the hands of brave men and women, that can use the tool for what it's intended to be used for, and that is to save lives. And we're just honoring those today from Florence Fire for that reason. And some history. I don't know how many of you have been on council for a while, but this is my 4th or 5th time being here doing this, presenting Save a Life to the Florence Fire Department. We're doing some research, but we think that this number 4, we're thinking 5, maybe the largest in the nation. So that's certainly to be commended.
Wow.
So yes, with that, Chief Tanner, we appreciate your department and making this possible through your people.
There we go.
They understand during the process that the retractable lanyard on that thermal imager got broke, so here's your nose and replacement.
Saving money.
Tell Scotty that.
Certainly want to honor all those that were taking part that day, but there's one individual award that we have, and that individual is to be awarded to one Captain Jacob Schuler. He is meritorious efforts on that day. We also-
Can we get counsel in that last picture?
We need them to move over so we can get Zach in.
Now say that again.
We need them to move over so we can get Zach in the picture.
I tell you what, can you come over here and then Zach can stay where he is. Zach, you can stay where you are, just come up.
All right.
There you go.
We also have the Bullard Save a Life medallion that would be presented to Captain Schuler.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, go ahead. Y'all in there?
Thank you. I do have a message here from the president and CEO of Bullard, directly to Captain Schuler. Says, Dear Captain Schuler, on behalf of the entire Bullard family, I want to express our heartfelt thanks for your courageous actions during the recent fire in Florence. Hearing how you used your Bullard thermal imager to locate and rescue a 4-year-old child left us incredibly moved and deeply honored to play even a small part in the life-saving event. At Bullard, we often say our mission is to help make firefighters return home at the end of their shift. But moments like this remind us that you are the true lifeline. It's your training, your instincts, and your courage that make the difference in the most critical moments, not just the tools you use. As a 5th-generation CEO of a family-owned company, I grew up understanding that the work you do is not simply a job, it is a calling. I can speak to that. I did it for 35 years before retiring. And it's one that deserves our highest respect. You embody the very reason we come to work each day, to support the incredible men and women who risk their lives to protect others. Enclosed is a small token of appreciation, certificate of honor, Bullard Tough patch, and a challenge coin, acknowledging your induction into the Bullard Save a Life Club. It is a community we honor deeply, and your story now becomes part of our shared history. Thank you for the extraordinary example you've set, and please know if there's ever a way we can better support your work through our products, our team is listening. With deep respect and gratitude, Wells Bullard, President and CEO of Bullard.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, council, I want for us to just stop for a minute to honor the life of former council member Bobby Holland. I believe his son Robert Holland is in the building. Is he? Come on, just come. Bobby Holland served as city council, but he was also a 20-year, served 20 years as an employee here at the city of Florence, and I think he died in May. And we wanted to stop and thank you for sharing him with Florence, and we pray your strength.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ann Hyler with the South Carolina Forestry Commission to present the 45th Tree City and 18th Growth Award.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor. Members of council. I have
The mic.
I just wanted to introduce Miss Ann Hyler here. She is the Urban Forestry Specialist for the South Carolina Forestry Commission. She's a great partner to the city. Anything we have that we need from the Forestry Commission, she is willing to be there for anything, give out information, speak to the public, and just kind of be our voice, the expert in the field, so to speak, for anything tree related or arbor related. She's a great connection for Trees SC for us. She also works closely with Clemson Extension. So any of the tree giveaways that you may hear that the city is doing, she is here with us to help in that. She's also here to award us the 45th Tree City USA Award and the Growth Award this year, which I did bring some things, so I hope y'all want to step down for that picture or as much as possible to hold the flag. I'll turn it over to Miss Ann.
There'll be more pictures. So I am Ann Hyler. I work for the South Carolina Forestry Commission, the Urban Forestry Specialist for the PD region. So I've got everything from North Myrtle to Pawleys Island up to Lancaster County. So I'm relatively new. Florence has been doing this long before I ever came here. They have 45 years as a tree city. Only Columbia has 1 year greater. That's it, at 46 years in South Carolina. So we are second right now. Unless Columbia happens to lose a few years, we might remain there for a bit. But Adam Swindler has been great. Matthew Watt, just working with them, they've just been very receptive. And again, I forgot, the Tree Growth Award is 18 years. Florence far outstrips any city in South Carolina for the Tree Growth Award. You have Tree City, Tree Growth Award is a step above, right? 18 years, the closest in 2024 was 5 years for Conway and for the town of Patrick. If everybody knows the town of Patrick, thank you very much. 270 some people, and they are right now teamed up with Conway for second longest years in the Tree Growth Award. Florence, again, far outstrips everybody in 2024. And that is because Florence does a lot on that. In 2024, you planted 488 trees, which is a lot. You pruned 1,964. You removed 163 hazardous trees. Volunteers contributed over 288 hours of work, which is essentially 7 work weeks. So volunteers, you do have a dedicated volunteer community to do this. On that, I know you celebrated Arbor Day at the Southside Middle School. There was a program with the students, and you planted an overcup oak. So for the Tree Growth Award, besides the 3-to-1 planting to removal ratio, which is massive, on that, Columbia does not beat that at all. On that, Florence kicks it. You grind your leaf debris, you use it to mulch and compost around public trees, and you provide that free for your citizens. That's how they got the Tree Growth Award, is doing those steps above on that. So that is why I am here. Adam and Matthew are here to continue this fantastic tradition. Florence kicking it in the state of South Carolina. I really hope that will continue on that. And as Adam Sindler mentioned, there was Earth Day, April 22nd. 168 trees were given away. All trees were taken by citizens, which is a rarity for tree giveaways. They walked home with nothing, right? So that is huge on that. And there'll be another tree giveaway October 4th through Trees SC, the nonprofit. There'll be a tree planting presentation, pruning, mulching, watering, fertilizing presentations before citizens can get their trees. That's on Saturday at the
City Center Farmers Market.
City Center Farmers Market, October 4th. So I am hoping we will continue the tree giveaway tradition because it seems to go really, really well. So if we could get more photo opportunities, because one of the things of this for the Tree City is to have good public tree ordinances, and that is directly through City Council.
Thank you
That is
so
something
much.
City Council upholds, approving this, making it better every year, because your ordinances protect the city. Nobody wants Florence to be a strip mall. You want it to be lush, green, canopy, very welcoming, cool, shady home, and that is due to the trees.
So are we doing
However, they will organize.
the same way? Same way. Let's just do it the same way.
Hold up some.
Anybody who wants to stand,
We gotta come down.
come on down.
Come on
Yeah,
down, 'cause we
wait.
got.
No.
You hold it up here.
You want to come down? Oh, no, come on down. Yeah.
Are we going?
Y'all might as well come on down. Everybody come on down.
Everybody, 'cause I know some of you probably get tired. I have not done the work, so Adam has to come over here.
I'm
On
doing
one side, no, one side. Yeah, grab.
And
Yeah.
Adam's gonna hold this
Yeah, he's
side.
gonna hold the side.
And then, the council can get behind, and I'm holding Tree City. We holding 45 years.
Where? Position everybody. I am not in city council. Somebody else. I am here for the photo opportunity. You guys have done the work. You guys have done, short person, get out of here. Okay.
You just have to.
You got it? All right. You got it? Okay.
1, 2, 3.
That's right. Oh, wait, yeah, I know, sorry. This is for the Forestry Commission. You all are gonna be posted on it.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you.
Council, next, while you are coming up, I will remind you that we are moving our resolutions up
Mayor, before we start our resolution,
Resolution number 2025-18.
yeah, I want to defer that. I know they had a long travel, so I don't think we have a representative here, so I want to defer that until they can make it.
What say you, council?
So moved.
A second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. That item has been deferred. We will turn to the next page. Resolution number 2025-19. The resolution honoring Crew Wine and Tap for the contributions to efforts to revitalize downtown Florence. Who's sponsoring it? So the sponsor of this is Councilman McCall. Here it is. Okay. Oh, you got to vote on it. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, good. All right.
Resolution 2025-19, sponsored by Councilman McCall, a resolution honoring Crew Wine and Tap for their contributions to the efforts to revitalize downtown Florence. Whereas the owners of Crew Wine and Tap have established a unique dining establishment in downtown Florence and are a small business owners that the community has embraced, and whereas the investment by Crew Wine and Tap is welcomed and is playing a role in the continued development of Florence's downtown business district, and whereas the owners are contributors to the community's growth through their welcoming atmosphere, unique establishment, and exemplary customer service, and whereas the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce has requested that the city recognize the business efforts of Crew Wine and Tap and its contributions to our community. Now therefore be it resolved that upon the petition of the Greater Florence Chamber of Commerce and in recognition of Crew Wine and Tap's contributions to the continued efforts to revitalize downtown Florence, the City Council of the City of Florence hereby declares the months of April through June Crew Wine and Tap Quarter. And it is so resolved this 9th day of June, 2025.
Thank you. Could we have members of the chamber to come up as well?
If you'd like to say a few words, you can go to the podium.
It's too early for wine, so it's okay to be.
It's never too early. I mean, I guess thank you for the honor. None of this would have happened without Hannah Davis, who I don't know if she's here or not, but I mean, she's like the heartbeat of downtown, and not for her, I probably wouldn't be here. Tim Norwood and a bunch of other people. So to the City of Florence, downtown, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, next we have resolution number 2025-20, the resolution to recognize June 2025 as Home Ownership Month in the City of Florence. Is there a sponsor for that?
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Jerry?
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas owning a home is at the heart of the American dream and is a source of wealth which individuals can pass down to their children and grandchildren. And National Homeownership Month provides an opportunity for all Americans to work together to provide families with the tools and information they need to overcome barriers to home ownership. And home ownership unites families, empowers communities, and strengthens bold local and national economies. And homeownership encourages personal responsibility and strong values while creating more stable neighborhoods, civic-minded residents, better schools, and less crime. And the United States recognizes the month of June as National Homeownership Month to highlight the enduring value of homeownership and to recommit ourselves to helping more Americans realize that dream. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the City Council of the City of Florence in the state of South Carolina do hereby proclaim the month of June as Home Ownership Month. In the City of Florence and
urge all our citizens to join in this effort to reaffirm our individual commitment to support the dream of homeownership. Resolved this 9th day of June, 2025. And we have Mr. Cliff McBride here to accept the award,
Thank you so much for
or the resolution.
Thank you so much. Would you care to say something?
I know most of you on the council, but as an advocate for low-income people and who works with low-income people and renters and homeowners in a legal sense, I just want to thank you for all you do when it comes to home ownership here in Florence. It would take me forever to talk about the different programs they're doing, so I'm not going to get into all of them. But when you talk about affordable housing, down payment assistance, first-time home buyer classes, the city of Florence is right up there with any in the country. And as a resident of Florence, I really do appreciate all you do. As a lawyer who assists people when they're trying to buy new homes, I thank Florence for what they do and appreciate your acknowledging this month as Home Ownership Month. In fact, I will be here tomorrow night working with the first-time home buyers class. So I appreciate all you do and look forward to more encounters of a good kind with y'all.
Chair recognizes Japalin.
Listen, you and I go way, way back. And listen, we go way back, and I just want to thank you, Cliff, for all that you do. But you have the opportunity, you got the floor, you've got the stage to talk about your organization for a 2-minute snippet, because most people don't know all the wonderful things that you and your organization do. So if you'd please educate everybody.
For those of you that don't know, I work for South Carolina Legal Services. We are a statewide nonprofit law firm that helps low-income people with their civil legal problems. We don't do any criminal work. We help with the civil side. So, for example, I do a lot of housing. I fight evictions. I fight foreclosures, claim and deliveries on mobile homes on the side of the tenant, who in a lot of cases are getting taken advantage of. We also do things with credit. We do things with school admittance or school discipline. We do things in domestic relations, abused spouses, those kinds of situations. So if there's a civil legal problem that a low-income person in Florence or across the state, since we're statewide, needs assistance with, that's what the firm I work for does. And as the head housing lawyer in the PD, I know what the city of Florence does, and that's why I'm here and happy to take this resolution, because there's not that kind of support in other places and throughout the state. I mean, there are some cities that don't even know that it's Home Ownership Month. And there are a lot of cities and a lot of the lawyers I talk to in our organization, because we've got like 70-something lawyers across the state, they don't talk about all the housing programs and stuff. When I go to meetings and talk about home ownership and down payment assistance and some of the other things that the city of Florence does, they do what? Is the reaction I get. And so that's one of the reasons that I'm so proud to be here to accept this, is because I appreciate what the city of Florence does, and they do it, and it affects directly the clients I work with. Thank you again.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, council, next on the agenda, resolution number 2025-21, a resolution of recognition for Bishop Donald Jackson on the occasion of his retirement from Francis Marion University after 31 years of dedicated service. What say you?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Amendment.
Resolution number 2025-21, sponsored by Councilwoman Neesmith Jackson, a resolution of recognition for Bishop Donald Jackson on the occasion of his retirement from Francis Marion University after 31 years of dedicated service. Whereas Bishop Donald Jackson has served with distinction at Francis Marion University for 31 years, contributing immeasurably to the institution's academic life, and whereas in recognition of his lasting legacy, the FMU Board of Trustees has approved the naming of the Donald Jackson Atrium and Garden in the Stokes Administration Building, a permanent tribute to his extraordinary impact on the university community. And whereas Bishop Jackson is the founding member and current vice president of the African American Faculty and Staff Coalition, a pivotal organization stimulating and enhancing cultural awareness and promoting professional development and welfare among faculty, staff, and students at FMU. And whereas for the past 20 years, he has faithfully served as the advisor to the young, gifted, and blessed choir, guiding and mentoring students through the music and faith. Under his leadership, the choir has reached remarkable milestones, including a distinguished performance before Reverend Jesse Jackson. And whereas Bishop Jackson has tirelessly mentored generations of students, instilling in them the guiding principle, work for Christ while you're young, and when you're old, you'll have something to lean on. A deeply rooted message drawn from Ecclesiastes 12:1. And whereas in 2015, Bishop Jackson was honored with the Marvin W. Lynch Humanitarian Award, which recognizes members of the FMU staff who exhibit an unusual commitment and care for his fellow man, both at work and elsewhere. And now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Florence, South Carolina, that we hereby recognize Bishop Donald Jackson for his outstanding service, unwavering dedication, and remarkable contributions to Francis Marion University and the City of Florence. Resolved this 9th day of June, 2025.
This is sponsored by Councilman Neesmith Jackson.
But it was definitely an honor to recognize your remarkable contributions and the lasting impact that you made on so many lives. Thank you so much. And you have been you've served as a pillar of strength and guidance in our community through your leadership in your church. And I want to say thank you. Now, when it comes to that saying that you have instilled in you to work for Christ when you're young, and when you get old, you have something to lean on. You are the epitome of that. You embody that person. And we want to say thank you for all your contribution and the lasting impact that you made on so many lives. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
Come on up. I see some
Church family too.
kids back there.
I'm an alumnus of Francis Marion. Can I say that? Francis Marion too? We alumnus. What's going on, man?
Yeah, that's right. Open it out a little bit.
Thank you so much.
You want to say a couple words?
Please say a few words for us.
Say a few words.
Yeah, go to the podium.
But a short preacher moment. Thank you.
To Madam Mayor, Councilman, I want to say that I'm very elated. I didn't see this coming. What I do for God Almighty. I ask Him to make me an instrument. So thank you so much. And I want to thank my wife, my children. When my son Ahmad made mention, I had no idea what it all was about. And I think I have church family also here. I'm going to ask them to stand. I thank them so much for coming out and supporting us, supporting me.
Everybody come up and take a picture. Let me take a picture with your resolution, Bishop.
Okay, she said,
Well, go ahead and
after I finish, we asked them to come and take a picture with me also. And also, I have to mention my boss and my friend, Dr. Carter, because, you know, he has been played an instrumental part in my life also. And I just thank God that I've been able to do what I do ever since I first stepped on the campus in 1994 as an employee. I just wanted to be a help both to the faculty and staff and the students. And I just thank God for what it brought me to at this point. And I just tell all of you, just thank you very much. I'm very elated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, church members, and I'm going to ask that you all gather so that we can continue. You all, Maggie, yeah, she's back now. Okay. Yeah, so that she could take a picture of it. She wasn't here, so I was going to say if you all could gather right there in the hall to take that picture. Maggie, can you take a picture of them? Yes. Okay. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll give them a few moments to leave. Next on the agenda is public hearing. It is a public hearing. A public hearing will be held to receive input on the City of Florence fiscal year budget 2025-2026. We need to vote. Okay, so I open this meeting for that to happen. Is there anyone that would like to have dialogue? Okay, we will close that meeting, and I will give Glenn, there's nothing that needs to be said, so it's closed. Thank you so much. Next, we will have appearances before council. Ms. Shelley Williams to speak to council on community concerns involving the police and the operation of the city. Good afternoon. So before appearances before council, just so you know, each person, there is always a 5-minute time limit, and this information is to be gathered and to give her opportunity to speak to council. So Ms. Shelley Williams.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, as I know most of you all here, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lanika Shelley Williams. I am an advocate, a community leader, a speaker, an author, a mentor, activist. I pour my heart and soul into every place that I'm at, and that includes Florence. I'm CEO of For the People Advocacy Group and the National Director of Operations for Racial Justice Network, which is a civil rights organization for everyone. And I'm not paid, just for the, for the record. I have over 30 years of community service, and I have always tried to be a liaison with the community and be a bridge for the community, whether it's with the schools, housing, law enforcement, elected officials, and just making sure that all citizens have their civil liberties, and whatever the needs may be, because there's a lot of needs that's just been brought here that's apparent. I'm not a native of South Carolina, and I own that. I guess, you know, that's where some friction comes from too. But I have contributed so much, and more than a lot of people that was bred and fed here. I have had no help from this town at all. Not even a thank you, to be honest. And I haven't asked anyone for anything. I made sure in almost 14 years here, I've made sure that these kids are graduating. I'm talking over 200 plus by myself. Make sure kids are graduating, kids don't become teen parents, children stay out of trouble. Parents understand their rights and liberties as a parent. And people are accountable, among other contributions. All I ask is that you all respect my family, respect myself, and respect the other amazing advocates that tirelessly give to this town with nothing in return. Just to be clear, I am not here or ever do I come from a place of contingency. I am here and always approach a situation from a place of resolution. And where we bump heads is when people think things is going to get swept under the rug, or we're going to ignore, or we're not going to be accountable. The matter that I want to focus on today, I have attempted to handle this matter privately, but we have gotten nowhere. So today I'm here to publicly address the council and the public. I am completely outraged about an incident that took place with my oldest son, who's 26. He's a 26-year-old black male on April 26th of 2025. My son was stopped in our suburban neighborhood in his sports car for a traffic violation, and that escalated into my son being dragged and slammed by officers, countless lies being told, and even myself being threatened for no reason. These officers displayed lack of training, lack of empathy, lack of common sense, and lack of decency, not to mention they were downright liars. I had to call a third-party officer to figure out what was going on, and I was right there with my son. So, figure the officer should have told us what was going on. My son's rights wasn't even read to him at all, at no time. The supervisor did a poor job, so this tells me we have a bigger issue with the police department. My son called me because the same officer who was in car 110 followed him home almost weeks prior. I've never got a chance to tell the officer about my son's condition, or much less get the officer's name, even after I asked him twice. Instead, he called for backup, and they attacked my son right in front of my face. A child who has never been in trouble, and he's one of 7, not even in school. None of my kids have ever been in trouble, and I'm talking not the 7 that's in the house, but even out of the 200, only 2% of those that I helped. I did this. This was me, with no help from nobody. I don't get paid to do this. Only 2%. I'm literally out here making a difference in this community. And I don't even get a thank you. The least you could do is leave me and my family alone. That should be the bare minimum of what we could get. What I will do is play a small little portion of this, so y'all can see what I had to witness, so that nobody will think that I'm being dramatic.
I'm sorry. I don't think you're going to have time. I would ask you to kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just to put it in perspective, because I know this, just so y'all know, April 26th, 27th, the City of Florence Police pulled over and arrested more citizens than Florence County, Lake City, and the Highway Patrol combined, all of which were black and Hispanic. 10 black men, 6 or 7 black females, 1 Hispanic male, and 1 Hispanic female. Now, we couldn't find no Caucasian person to break no law that day. I also pulled more numbers from arrests, traffic stops, and which shows that despite only making up 49% of the city, black people are pulled over and arrested 2 to 3 times more than their counterparts. The numbers don't lie. During this incident, the officers and supervisors stated that there was a city policy that stated that a person who didn't have their license or license showed suspended in the system must be arrested. Upon further investigation, and admittedly in a meeting that we had with the mayor, the chief, and the captain, there is no written policy of that. And this is not the only policy that's being told to the public That's not actually a policy.
So
A policy has
I'm gonna
to,
need you to wrap it up because you've already gone over your time.
okay, a policy needs to be, any policy, mandate, ordinance, or statutes must be written. It must have the code. And basically, to get down to what this is, I guess it goes to that $777,000 that was generated, that goes to general use. My last thing is, what happens? Where's the accountability? I have gone through the proper channels to ask for accountability for what was done. I know this is not just happening to my son. So what measures are set up so that this won't happen to nobody else? Since I don't have, time here, we're not getting phone calls. I never received a response from the meeting. I had to send you all a meeting about the harassment that we've been getting since making a complaint. We've been harassed by police, riding past our house, showing up at places and stuff. So I'm asking, what is it that you all, as the city, now I'm trying to go against all the proper chains of commands. What is it that the city council can do to make sure that these things don't happen? Do I have to have my own security come in here because we're no longer safe in Florence? Do I have to go through filing lawsuits to have people held accountable? What is it that y'all can do? Because I can come to y'all and ask for y'all. I can come to meetings. I could call you all. What is it that you all are going to do?
Okay, and that's the ask, and I'm going to thank you because we did meet with you, and I asked you, what would you like for us to do, and the meeting ended, and so because this is under investigation, we would like the investigation to play out. So I thank you. This is not a brush off, but we did meet, and I asked what you would have for us to do in that meeting, and you walked out. And so what we want to do now is allow the process to take place. And
that's not totally, man, with all due respect, that's not totally exactly what transpired.
So we're gonna
then I want to know, but y'all investigation with you all, because you all never concluded y'all investigation. You're now giving it to SLED.
Investigation now. It's been an investigation
for weeks. Y'all sending it to SLED, but where is y'all investigation as the city council, as the
and so
people of the police department? I never got the resolution from that. Where is that?
So that you understand the process, when we call for an investigation of the city can't investigate themselves. That's why SLED was brought in. So we have to wait for that process to play out. And so we can't give you answers while the investigation is taking place. But we wanted to hear from you. And that's why
So when you all said it was being investigated before, you all lied? Or who lied? Because I was being told for weeks it was investigated. It was being investigated by Captain Ford.
So I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you.
I'm just curious.
I want to say thank you.
And that's fine. I appreciate you. I just want the facts straight. I didn't hear anything about SLED till the 3rd. So what y'all was telling me it was being investigated before. So that's what I'm saying. That portion where I was saying it was investigated, where's the conclusions from that? That they were saying that Captain Ford and everybody else before SLED was involved. I've never received anything.
It's under investigation, and there's nothing else that we can say.
Okay, so what do we do?
We have to wait for the investigation to play out.
From SLED, not from you all, or from SLED, or who? Which investigation?
It is under investigation, and when that comes to an end, you will hear from SLED or from our office. But we have nothing to give if it is in investigation. If it is in that process, there is nothing that we can say. So, I thank you for coming and sharing, but that's all that we can say.
Okay.
All right. Next on the agenda, we have Tammy Broach to speak to council on the unsafe and unsanitary conditions of the abandoned properties located at 600 Avanhoe Drive.
Thank you. My name is Tammy Broach, and I've lived in the Florence community since 1987. I moved here to go to college and made this my home. I've been a nurse here in this community for over 35 years. We have, I'm married to David, and we have 3 adult boys and 3 grandchildren. So I tell you that to show that we are invested in Florence and have a commitment to Florence. I am here to address the ongoing problem associated with the property at 600 Ivanhoe Drive. This home has been vacant for approximately 8 years and has not been maintained at all. While it's quite the eyesore for all of us that live there, my concern involves safety, sanitation, as well as the invitation that it offers to the homeless and potential drug activity. The Property Maintenance Code was adopted for the purpose of regulating and governing the conditions and maintenance of all property, buildings, and structures, providing the standards for supplied utilities and facilities and other physical things and conditions essential to ensure that structures are safe, sanitary, and fit for occupation and use, and the demolition of such existing structures and providing for the issuance of permits and collection of fees. I, as well as my neighbors, have called many times regarding this unkept property. And as of today, before I left, I took another look just to be on the safe side, and the property remains unsafe, unsanitary, and is continuing to be a nuisance. The property is not secure. I did bring pictures for council to have a better idea of what I feel to be very unsafe conditions. Obviously, it's unsanitary. You can look at it and tell that it's unsanitary. Do I send this to you? Okay. Just this week, Mr. Bailey, you shared a report from U.S. News and World Report on how Florence is one of the best cities in South Carolina. And I concur. I think that Florence is a fabulous city. But I do feel obligated as a resident and taxpayer of the community to speak out to the public nuisance that we have in our neighborhood. I've spoken directly to many of you before, as well as the city manager and codes division of our city. I've been told many times on how the owner of this property could not be served as he resides in our neighboring county. My question to that was immediately, why have we not cooperated with Darlington County Sheriff in order to serve this person? That, you know, I'm not a legal person. I am a nurse. I could save your life, but I didn't take me very, it was, to me, that does not make sense that no one has been able to serve him in 8 years. I know the Property Maintenance Code is in direct violation, and I beg for your assistance. By enforcing the adopted codes, including but not limited to entering the property in violation for lot maintenance and boarding up access to this home, as well as prevention of criminal activity on the premises. We have small children that live on this cul-de-sac. We have teenagers, and this is an invitation for mischief. I said we have 3 adult boys, or men now, but they were teenagers once. And this is the perfect property for the kinds of things that we as parents don't want to see our kids involved in. And me, as a citizen, I don't want to see this in my neighborhood. To say that this is an eyesore is truly an understatement. I feel that we're at a point of where else can we go? We have made multiple complaints, and again, I've spoken to many of you guys, and this is, right here in the heart of Florence, and it's obviously, is not what a great American city wants to portray. So I beg for your assistance. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your willingness to serve. And I know that it is a collaboration of great responsibility and critical thinking.
Councilman Japali would have her name.
First off, thank you so much for coming. It is not easy to come and to be a spokesperson on behalf of a community and to speak out on something like this. So I just want to thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. I got your email, so thank you for that. Thank you for all that you do and your others and your neighbors do to try to make Florence a better place for all of us. I will make one comment, and then I'm going to ask our city manager, Scotty, you're going to be up there, so you may want to step up there. The comment is, I don't want you to feel, and it's a bad statement to have to make, but I don't want you to feel alone, like somehow this is the only property that's a problem property that the city is not doing anything about, okay? Unfortunately, all throughout the whole city, you can pick a neighborhood and there are derelict properties. I'm going to call it what it is, right? It's a derelict property. There are derelict properties all throughout the whole city of Florence, and it is just like it's so difficult to ask a school to step in and be a parent for a child. It's very difficult to have to ask the city to be the property owner, because that's not our job to be the property owner. You would hope that property owners would do what they're supposed to do to keep up their properties, just like you would hope parents are supposed to do what they're supposed to do to take care of their children. And it is extraordinarily frustrating, personally for me, and I'm sure I speak for other members of council, that we are seeing this repeatedly throughout our community. And, you know, you take pride in your home. I take pride in my home. And if someone for 8 years owns a piece of property and just absolutely abandons it, it is a daggum shame. And I share your frustration with you, because I ride by these properties myself. We all do, and we all see them. So now, Mr. City Manager, I'm going to call on you to address this concern, and please enlighten us as to the process and what we are able to do, and unfortunately what we're not able to do. And I'll ask, and Mr. Scott may need to chime in at some point, do we need to amend our ordinances somehow to further expand our ability to address this situation? So, thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Yes.
Thank you, Council, for the question. We have looked at this property. We have several hundred properties that we deal with in the city of Florence in this type condition, often much worse than this. I did speak with Ms. Broach a couple weeks ago about the property. I followed up with our staff on that. The owner lives in Society Hill. We obviously don't have jurisdiction in that area. We do have an active summons. We are working with Society Hill Police Department. We've actually had staff to go there to submit the summons to the police chief in that community. That's a very small community, and in fact, the police department isn't open today. So it's very small there. So we are working through that process there to try to get remedy for this property here. It's certainly unfortunate that the neighbors have to live in this. As was stated, we do have codes that will allow us the means to bring them into court and to handle those issues of derelict in that the grass and all of those things, the unkept conditions, the attractive nuisance that it is. We do have those on order, but we do have to bring that person into court there, and there lies the rub, particularly when they're out of town.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Scotty. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you again. If council, if that is it, we want this problem solved just as much as you do. But we, like Councilman Jabali says, we are having a problem with some owners that's not living up to their responsibility of taking care. But thank you for coming before us.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Now, next we have ordinance and positions. and it is Bill number 2025-17, and it is the second reading. An ordinance to raise revenue and adopt the budget for the city of Florence, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30th, 2026.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The ayes have it. Next, we have Bill number 2025-18. It's a second reading. An ordinance to amend the budget for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending in June 30th, 2025. What say you?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next, we have Bill number 2025-19, second reading, an ordinance to amend the Unified Development Ordinance regarding cemetery preservation. What say you?
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? That has passed. Bill number 2025-20, second reading, an ordinance to rezone 1203 Sopkin Avenue from CA to NC dash 6-1. What say you?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The ayes have it. Bill number 2025-21 is the second reading, an ordinance to annex and zone NC 6.3 and on a 1.467 acre of lot located at Toscano Drive, a portion of Florence County Tax Map number 00100-01-101. What say you?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
The ayes have it. Next, we have introductions of ordinance. This is Bill number 2025-23. This is the first reading, an ordinance to amend the business license ordinance of the City of Florence, South Carolina to update documents that may be required by the city as a part of the initial registration and annual renewal of business license and other matters relating thereto. What say you?
So moved.
The ordinance under consideration is to amend the current business license ordinance to specify that state and or federal income tax returns are not required for the initial registration and renewal of business licenses. In accordance with Act 176, the current business license ordinance does allow city staff to request state and or federal income tax returns or portions thereof as part of the initial registration and renewal process for business licenses. If amended, the business license ordinance will formally establish the city manager's current policy into an ordinance. The city manager's current policy directs city staff not to request or require the submission of state and or federal income returns as part of the initial registration and renewal process for business licenses.
All right. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? The ayes have it. Next, we have Bill number 2025-24. It's the first reading, a series ordinance providing the assurance and sale of not exceeding $15,100,000 hospitality fee revenue bonds of the City of Florence, South Carolina, to be designated Series 2025 and others matter relating thereto. This item may be discussed in executive session, so we move on? Or do we?
Unless there are questions.
Any questions on that? You want to go over that now? Yes, yes, and then we can take that in executive session.
This here is just, as you said, the series ordinance to establish the terms and conditions for the issuance and sale of the hospitality fee revenue bonds for the City of Florence. These projects were discussed at the May 7th, 2025 budget work session. The proposed projects for the hospitality fund, included in those projects were the construction of a new arena at Pearl Memorial Gymnasium, development of new football fields, and construction of new tennis courts at the Florence Tennis Center. Now, again, this bond issuance is not to exceed $15,100,000. Does not necessarily mean that we're going to issue for $15,100,000, but that should cover the cost of the actual projects and any underwriting costs that we have for this bond.
Okay. Well, we will take this up in executive session. If there needs to be how about let's get a first and a second and we'll vote when we come back out.
I make a motion.
Second. Okay, and we'll vote when we come back out in executive session. Thank you so much. Next, we enter into introduction of resolution. It is resolution number 2025-12, a resolution to adopt the Community Development Block Grant Budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. What say you? So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Jerry?
Thank you, Mayor. We did receive an allocation this year of $344,189 as part of the Community Development Block Grant. And just as a reminder, to be eligible under the current CDBG guidelines, the funding must aid in the elimination of slum and blight in order to benefit low and moderate income persons and meet a need having urgency. We also, as staff and council, held 2 public hearings regarding the CDBG funds, and also interacted at our various community meetings to solicit input. And based upon that input and past successes with the program, the proposed budget for fiscal year 25-26 would have $837 in planning and admin, just over $190,000 in emergency rehab, $60,000 in down payment assistance, and $25,000 going to My Brother's Keeper. And this concludes staff's report.
Thank you so much. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposes? The ayes have it. Thank you so much, Jerry. Next, we have reports to council, which will be in executive session. Now we will have city manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. It is with great pride and excitement that I stand before you today to share some outstanding news. Florence has officially been ranked as the third best place to live in the state of South Carolina by U.S. News and World Report. As we know, there are over 271 cities and towns in South Carolina. And again, Florence is third best place to live in South Carolina. This recognition is a reflection of our collective hard work, vision, and dedication to building a vibrant, welcoming, and forward-thinking city. It acknowledges our thriving downtown, our expanding arts and cultural scene, our growing food culture, and many efforts that we've made to create a community where residents of all ages in any community can live well, work hard, and enjoy life. Let this be a moment of celebration and a reminder of what's possible when we work together to invest in our people, our neighborhoods, and our shared future. Thank you for your leadership in helping making Florence not only a great place to live, but one of the very best places in South Carolina. Thank you.
Next, we will have a report from the mayor's report. I am also just so excited to stand before you. On last week, Scotty, myself, and Michael went to D.C., of course, to bid to ask for more money because we need it. And with every person that we met, we first met with the lobbyists and those who write grants for us. And I was super excited when the person sitting on the other side of the table called us the dream team. it made me feel really, really good. They applauded staff's and our efforts in how we work together and the way we are giving them the information that is needed for us to get grants. They said we make it easy. And they said not to throw shade at other cities, and not this bad, but their very words were, some requests come on paper napkins, but you all are so professional. So when we left that meeting, we met with Senator Graham's office. They thanked us for our professionalism. And then we went to, and none of them are talking with each other, and we went to Russell Fry's office, Congressman Fry's office, and they thanked us again. And I looked at city manager and I said, I got to go home and tell our family that in D.C. they are thanking little old Florence for the way we are handling our business and the professionalism that in the manner in which we are handling. Now, on that meeting, something that preceded, Zach, I thank you so much. Senator Lindsey Graham was in town the week before, and Councilman Zach McKay has set up a meeting so that I would be able to speak with Senator Graham. So when we got to our meeting, they already had some stuff in place because of that meeting. So thank you so very much for that. We are doing a lot, and I want to make sure that the citizens of Florence understand how the world, the nation, I bring it back from the world. I feel like the world, but the nation is looking at us. They are really applauding the efforts and the hard work and our teamwork that we are doing. So kudos and thank you to all of you all who made that possible. Now we pray that we still get some money. We'll continue to pray for that piece. But and then on next Monday, there will be a meeting with church leaders, nonprofits, and businesses. That we're hoping that we will be able to hash out some ideas about crime, but I will talk about that because I'm moving into my community development piece. So next on the agenda, we'll have Brian. Yes, Brian, I did want you to say something about the fountain.
All right. So I had the opportunity to share with the mayor an exciting new addition to Florence, and that is a steel palmetto tree to tell an untold story. Most people don't know that Florence is #1 in steel. So we got the #1 steel producing company in the country, and that's Nucor. #1 joist producing company, Volcraft, Steel Fab, #1 fabricator. Also have other businesses like Nucor Cold Fusion. We have DSI Metal, Superior Machine, Carterberry, Palmetto Machine and Fab, and Steel Fab. So several steel companies in Florence employing 1,700 people. And to tell that story and to recognize the steel industry in Florence, I know this isn't Pittsburgh, but Florence is #1 in steel. We have a steel sculpture of a palmetto tree right behind Councilman Jabali's office, really catty corner of the city center right over here. So y'all check it out. It's got a fountain that looks like the state of South Carolina with the palm tree right there, I guess where Florence would be. So
okay, yeah.
And I can get your newspaper, you can see it there. But you can see it in person, it looks a lot better in person. So, that's right.
Thank you so much. Next we'll have the Business Development Committee.
Business Development Committee meeting? Madam Mayor, would you like me to go forward with this?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Business Development Committee met on May 15. Myself, Mayor Barnes, Councilman Zach McKay were there, along with Scotty Davis, Clinton Moore, and Michael Hemingway. We had a general discussion about the projects ongoing. We got an updated letter from Styx Company on the status of what was going on, and I did notice that there was some dirt that was moved at some point over the last few weeks. It's difficult, of course, with all the rain that we've had, so we've had some activity over there that was discussed. We had a significant discussion on different projects that took place, that are taking place within the city. We also, from not only Mr. Hemingway, but also from Mr. Moore, and we received information on various aspects of that, and had some general conversations about what is going forward. And that was basically it. Am I missing anything, Mr. Hemingway, Mr. Moore? Anything you'd like to add, Councilman, Mayor? That is the report from the Business Development Committee. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we will have Community Development Committee. At the Community Development Committee, our committee members are Councilman McCall and Councilman Smith. We discuss general discussions related to community development. Two of the things that I would highlight here today was a discussion for a plan, a study about youth crime. We are looking into doing a study on that, and also there was discussion on the creation of a youth council. And so we will continue this discussion. Councilman, did I leave anything out? Thank you so much. Next, we will have Finance and Audit and Budget Committee.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We met on Wednesday, May 28th, and the committee members are myself, Councilman J. Lawrence Smith II, as well as Councilman Braddock. At that meeting, like I always say, my minutes are boring because typically we've already voted on what we've already discussed. But at the the finance meeting, we discussed and looked over the hospitality projects that was presented to council today, which included the Freedom Florence, the football fields at Freedom Florence, the Paramore Center basketball gym, the Dr. Eddie Floyd tennis courts, and the Levi Park land acquisition. All that information is presented to us prior to us voting on it today. And then lastly, we did discuss, as it came today as a first reading, the removal of the word tax returns in regards to, put in the policy that's already in place by the city manager to finally get an ordinance to that effect that takes out the words return in regards to renewing and obtaining a business license. So both of those measures were passed today, and that will conclude my report.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Next, we have executive session. We will to receive legal advice on the assurance of sale of hospitality fee revenue bond, and for the discussion regarding appointments to city boards and commissions.
So moved.
Mayor, before we do that, can we say just a thank you to Senator Scott?
Yes. Senator Scott's. Okay. Senator Scott's regional director is here, and we want to say thank you so much for coming to see about us. Thank you. All right. Now, what say you?
Motion to go into executive session.
All those in favor?
Aye.